Up next in this part of the show, we'll be talking about an online publication for Toronto mums and the rise of the mummy blog. Hello, I'm Shannon Skinner, and this is Extraordinary Women TV. My next guest is Melissa Bessey. She's the city manager of Toronto Mum Now, an online publication for Toronto mums. You'll meet her in the moment. Later in the segment, before we take a break, I'll have my regular Good to Know Minute when I ask my guests for their top success tip. And you'll hear Melissa's. Well, Melissa Bessey, it is so nice to have you here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so you're the city manager of Toronto Mum Now. You have a background in entertainment journalism. You're a writer. You're an urban mother of 3.
That's right.
They keep you busy, I'm sure.
They do. Actually, they help me with a lot of what I do for Toronto Mom as well. They come all over the city helping me cover events. So,
how old are your children?
2, 4, and 6.
Okay.
Yes, so they're very active.
Right. So let's talk about Toronto Mum Now. I mean, what is it and how did it get its start?
Well, Toronto Mom Now is an online daily publication that covers the best shopping, dining, and entertainment for Toronto moms, both with and without their children. So we have a platform that's very similar to, say, BlogTO, just geared towards moms.
Right.
And we're a part of a larger network called the City Mom Now Network, as well as we have an Entrepreneur Mom Now Network that are all run by the same company. And the whole company was founded by Christine Pilkington, who is what I would definitely call, she's been known as a baby guru and an expert on everything related to babies, from products to how-to, and she's also very knowledgeable in terms of launching successful online platforms. So it's been great to be connected to her network.
So in terms of the publication then, I mean, what is its benefit, or why should Toronto moms go to this online publication to find information and whatnot? I mean, what is it about it that...
Well, I think the one thing that we offer that's different from what's out there is that it's often hard to find places in the city that are kid-friendly, whether it's a coffee shop or a movie theater or a new restaurant. So we do cover things that aren't kid-friendly, like the latest entertainment, whether it's a theater show. This coming week we're covering Cavalia's Odysseo, which isn't necessarily child-friendly. However, we do also focus on covering things that are kid-friendly. And a lot of other publications may, in fact, cover a kid-friendly coffee shop or restaurant, but not mention that. So for us, that's a major focus.
Right. And it's now this is part of a bigger network. You had mentioned.
That's right. So Vancouver Mom Now was our first site, and it's the biggest site that we have today. We have a very large network of moms, mommy bloggers, as well as kid-friendly businesses that are all very connected and stay active on social networks in Vancouver. So right now we're just trying to build the Toronto network to be just as successful. And one way that we do that is by being very active online. So we have a Facebook page that we chat with our moms and readers with daily, as well as our Twitter page that we try to use to connect more with businesses, but we do have conversations with our readers on there as well.
Now you're a writer.
Yes.
Probably first and foremost. What is it about writing that drew you to want to be a writer?
Well, I have to say I fell into writing initially. I took a course on writing for magazines while I was a student at OCAD, and I wasn't studying writing at all. Photography was my minor, and my major was material art and design. So I was studying textiles and jewelry at the time, and for me, those were things I was always interested in, but I just wasn't finding my passion while I was studying those courses. But then I took this writing for magazines course, which opened me up to the whole world of publishing. And from the time I think I stepped foot in the class, I thought, you know what, this is where I want to be. So I initially started by pitching my photography to local magazines and landed my first job with Sway magazine. And eventually they just came to know that I was very knowledgeable about the whole entertainment industry and especially music, just from personal interest's sake. So I was able to grow from being a music photographer into covering some music writing, and my whole career really launched from there. Once I got into it, there was just no stopping.
What do you love about it the most? What you do?
I love the challenge of whether it's covering a new store opening or covering a concert or whatever it is that I'm doing. I love the challenge of presenting it within my own unique writer's voice, but in a way that's very easy to read.
Do you find it challenging to try to make that happen?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
It can be, but it's a challenge that I love. So I'm never deterred by it.
You know, isn't it great to have a challenge that you love and to say that, you know, I love this challenge, so I'm going to keep doing it?
Yes.
Because the alternative is not so as good or appealing, is it?
No.
Now, the mommy blog. Mommy blogging has really, it's been taking off. I mean, there's so many moms out there that are blogging, and they're using the internet to express themselves, provide expert advice and tips, and just to share stories with other moms. I mean, why do you think it's becoming so popular?
Well, I think there's definitely a lot of reasons. I think just the rise of social media in general has a lot to do with it. And as well, I think it's been great for moms to see that whether you're a stay-at-home mom or a working mom, you can have this online platform where at some point there's a connection. You know, whether you're a mom who stays home with your kids or whether you're a mom who works and comes, you know, can't wait to get home and see your children, there's definitely a lot of commonalities, and it's very easy to find them and talk about them online.
So is when you're looking for advice, is it the first place that you go onto the internet, or do you pick up the phone and ask a girlfriend who's a mother too, if you're looking for some sort of advice about you know, you're rearing your children?
I'd say I tend to go straight to the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially because I am connected to all of the other moms that I know online. And I think another part of why the mommy blogging and even blogging in general is becoming so popular is also the rise of mobile networks, right, and, you know, the increase of smartphones. So with everyone walking around with the equivalent of a mini computer, it's just so easy to access the internet and so easy to get information so quickly. It would take me longer to call a friend than it would to try and connect with them online or just quickly find an answer online. So,
well, Melissa, we're going to take a quick break, and this means it's my good to know minute, and I know you've got a great success tip, so please share it.
Okay, well, my success tip is very simple, and it's just simply that hard work pays off. So no matter what your area of interest, as long as you put in the time, you will see the fruits of your labor.
Well, that is good to know, and thank you for that. Hard work pays off. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, more with Melissa Bessey, who's the city manager for Toronto Mom Now. So stay where you are. Welcome back to the show. I'm Shannon Skinner, and I'm speaking with Melissa Bessey, who is a city manager for Toronto Mom Now, an online publication for Toronto moms. And obviously, it's a much-needed publication. You know, we were talking before the break about the rise of the mommy blog and mommy blogging and blogging in general. And, you know, you have a background in an interesting background, journalism and PR. You run the Toronto Mom Now, but what you really like to do is to help mommy bloggers
absolutely,
with their work and get their voice out. I mean, what can they do to do that?
Well, I think there's a little bit of a gap between mommy bloggers who have an interest in writing and lots of interesting things to talk about between going from having a personal blog to pitching their ideas to whether it's newspapers or magazines. So I try to offer them very simple tips they can follow to be successful in pitching their work to magazines. And there's a few things that they can do that sound very simple, but a lot of the times when you don't have a background in writing or journalism or PR, you may not consider. So, for instance, the way that the mommy bloggers tend to communicate with each other is very casual all the time. The way that they speak and communicate when they're writing a blog post is also very casual, which is great in a blogging platform. But it's important to understand that when you want to take it to the next level and pitch to magazines, everything has to be professional. From the very first email that you send, just make sure everything you convey is being communicated in a professional manner. And also to just be very clear about, first of all, what it is you'd like to do for that publication, and also to give them some concrete examples of stories that you'd like to write.
Do you have on your site information for them if they're pitching you? Is there information
we do,
where they,
absolutely.
Can you direct them to some?
Absolutely. From our homepage, which is just www.torontomomnow.com, there's a tab at the top that says Contribute, and it takes you through a very simple form to connect to us. So once you fill out that form, we will reply with an email and let you know the full process to contribute.
Do you think that do you think that we're looking at a time now, I mean, with everything so online, so many blogs, do you think there are way too many bloggers out there? I mean, do you think that there's just a colossal amount of information that is just so getting lost out on the internet? I mean, would a mom who wants to blog, who hasn't started a blog but she's thinking about it, I mean, would she be thinking, well, why would I even bother? There's so many blogs out there. Who would be interested in what I have to say?
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think there could ever really be too many. And I also think that everyone has their own personal experiences, and that's really the whole point of mommy blogging, is to share your personal experience. And I think for any mom that might be interested in doing it but felt a little held back by the vastness of the internet, I would strongly encourage them to just take some time and explore some other mommy blogs, and it will probably make them feel empowered to see that, oh wow, I don't want to say there's nothing special to it, but it will make them see that this is really just so personalized and so individual to each mom. And I have my own personal experiences that I could share as well.
What kind of, voice works best for moms that are blogging online? Is it that personal voice, or is it that, to what extent do they share personal information is really the question I'm asking.
I think because
some of them get very, very personal.
Yeah.
And then some of them are not as personal. Some of them are humorous, and others are really deeply, not so humorous.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I think you touched on the two sort of main points of success for the top mommy blogs, which is that they're not afraid to get very personal. And also humor. I think the funnier that the mom blog is, the more readers they get, because I think when you start to tune into those type of networks, sometimes you're doing it because you want information, but a lot of the times you're just doing it for a little bit of a moment's relief from your daily activities or your daily reality with your own kids.
Right. So any last tips for anyone who's out there, particularly mom blogs or anybody that's blogging? Anything else that you want to add?
I really can't reiterate enough that when you want to make the leap from blogging into the world of publishing, is that just make sure you're presenting yourself in the most professional manner, and you will see success much faster.
So now your mom, going back to you being an urban mom of 3 kids, how do you do it? Like, how do you balance it, working and having 3 kids? And
well, it's a very fine juggling act, but yeah. it's one that I wouldn't trade. For me, from the time I had my first child, I was just very focused that I would find a way to pursue my career and pursue my family without having to give up either one. So sometimes the juggling act requires doing absolutely what would seem crazy things, like running around my apartment, talking on the phone, making a business call, running away from the children who are making noises in the background,
or running away from them.
Yeah.
Love it.
Or momentarily locking myself in the bathroom, just so that, you know, again, I'm still coming across as professional with my business, even though they're there in the background. And sometimes it's unavoidable. Sometimes, you know, I am on an important conference call or business meeting and you do hear a child in the background, but I don't tend to make apologies for that. I just try to make light of it in the situation.
Well, Melissa, I have really enjoyed speaking with you, and thank you for being here today and talking a little bit about your career, what you do, a little bit about the publication Toronto Mom Now, and providing some advice for mommy bloggers out there who are doing it now or wanting to do it in the very near future. So thanks again. I wish you all the best of success.
Thank you.
Well, for more information about Melissa Bessey, you can visit my website, of course, at extraordinarywomentv.com, and you'll see this interview here and some more information about her bio and the work that she does. And of course, if you want more information about the show or upcoming guests, past guests, you can also find out that information at extraordinarywomentv.com. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook. So there's lots of places that you can find out more about the show and certainly more about my background. Well, if you are interested in transforming your life, I hope these stories inspire you. You've been watching Extraordinary Women TV. I'm Shannon Skinner. See you soon.